Hi, Anshel here, and welcome back to my Maceration Diaries here on my channel, Beyond the Drydown. So, this is episode 2 of Maceration Diaries, where we don't judge a fragrance on first spray, we live with it, revisit it, and talk after the drydown. Because, let this be your mantra, with affordable Middle Eastern fragrances, it is after the drydown where the real story starts. Today's fragrance is called Nebras, and here it is. Nebras is Arabic for light or illumination, and I do feel and visualize a soft light illuminating around me whenever I wear or get a sniff of this fragrance. And it is also often compared to Billie Eilish fragrance, which I have smelled once, and they're compared for a good reason because they both belong to the soft, cozy vanilla family. But I personally prefer Nebras because to me it's softer, warmer, and has an air of sophistication that fits my age and that I didn't get from Eilish. This is also another present from my boyfriend, and I often kid that he's officially the culprit to me getting into Arabic fragrances, but a culprit that I am grateful to because he introduced me to, this world of Middle Eastern fragrances that I now very much appreciate. And the first time I wore this, I already got compliments. At work, somebody asked me what I was wearing, told me that I smelled amazing. And that's when I realized that this is not just a personal preference, but it could be a crowd pleaser. I would describe Nebras as a chocolatey vanilla with hints of fruitiness. The first time I got this, it was already pleasant, but it was still a little shy. I could smell the fruitiness in the opening, but not so much the sweetness. But then after it has had a chance to settle, I can now pick up on the cocoa, the cacao, and the vanilla notes clearly and appreciate how they infuse with the fruity notes in the opening. And I'd like to tie that up with a recent purchase. The recently introduced, and I know now very much viral, Lattafa Eternal Vanille. So I just got this yesterday, and as with most Middle Eastern fragrances, out of the box, I sprayed it out 8 to 10 times to introduce air into the bottle because apparently that's what helps Middle Eastern fragrances settle. And then I sprayed it on skin and on paper, but I could only pick up on the woody and spicy notes. But interestingly, my boyfriend was able to smell the vanilla note. And the point that I'm trying to make here is that, but first, that if you don't know and this is your first time here, I don't review perfumes on first spray. The point that I'm trying to make here is, number one, you cannot judge a Middle Eastern fragrance on day one. And number two, the probable reason why I couldn't smell the vanilla note is because me being a vanilla girly, I am familiar with the note of vanilla and I could easily get nose fatigue to it. Kind of like when you visit someone's house and you can smell something that the owner cannot. That's classic nose blindness. And it happens to all of us. And just like Lattafa Nebras Eternal Vanille could, evolve into something more beautiful. And I think that's part of the excitement of buying and, enjoying Arabic fragrances because they don't reveal themselves right away. You got to give them time to trust the process and find out how they will develop over time. Also, a quick side note because I often see this in perfume discussion groups, and there's been an ongoing debate on the term maceration. So, what does it really mean? Well, if you Google the word, as most people do, this is what maceration means. And technically, the first definition is the correct one. I feel like the term maceration has become a lazy vocabulary norm in the fragrance community when they try to say that it is when the fragrance settles after the initial spray. And to me, that's okay. We're not here to police our vocabulary. We're here to just talk about and enjoy fragrances. But does it really matter? I mean, whether you call it maturation, or settling, to me, what is more important is the experience of living with that fragrance and coming back, revisiting it after the real dry down. And that is the reason why this series exists. Language evolves, Middle Eastern fragrances settle, but Google will remain Google. So if you're still nitpicky about the word, maybe you could address your concern to Google, and who knows, you might be able to convince them to change their definition. But for now, just to settle everything, just like a Middle Eastern fragrance, this is what we're going to call this series. To me, Nebras feels like soft lighting, cozy clothes, and quiet assurance. It's not sexy in a loud way, but it's like soft confidence, divine, soft, feminine energy. And it's the kind of scent that people notice only when they're close enough to matter. If Khamrah is both confidence, Nebras is quiet assurance. I've heard a lot of people say that Nebras is not for them because it is underwhelming. Well, I don't think it's a kind of fragrance that is trying to announce itself before you enter a room. It is, it's quiet confidence, and it is for those people who want that kind of energy when they wear a fragrance. It's not trying to get noticed. It's like being noticed in an effortless way. So if you love vanilla scents but don't want it overly sweet, and if you want a fragrance that is personal and not performative, or if you want something that doesn't require or doesn't demand too much attention, then Nebras is for you. If you want, what is often called a beast mode fragrance, or kind of energy that fills the room instantly, or a fragrance that demands attention, then Nebras is not for you. I reach for Nebras when I want to feel cozy in the evening, or even at daytime at home, or whenever I want to do my layering routine, because this layers well with musk and soft ambers, but honestly, it can be worn alone and it can still perform beautifully. And it's the type of fragrance that does not really shout, but shows up when it wants to. That kind of vibe. And I'd like to stress again that Nebras is not trying to replace niche or designer fragrances. It just goes to prove once again that beauty in fragrances, depth, can exist even at affordable price points. And this is a kind of scent that is comforting but with intention. And to me, it is a perfect, quiet confidence that transports you anywhere in the room, even if it doesn't scream or shout. If you've enjoyed my after first spray, after hype review, please go ahead, subscribe, and like and comment. And I'll see you after the first spray, after the hype, and after the dry down, because that's where the real story starts.